Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
People don't remember, when I came into office, the United States in world opinion ranked below China and just barely above Russia. And today, once again, the United States is the most respected country on earth. And part of that, I think, is because of the work that we did to re-engage the world and say that we want to work with you as partners with mutual interest and mutual respect.
He's just wrong, flat wrong, and delusional, which appears to have become the norm for U.S. presidents since Richard Nixon completely transformed the office into a den of iniquity. If he had seen the poll, his aides must have given it to him upside down. In February of 2014, a Gallup poll revealed that for the first time, the majority of Americans at 53% agreed that President Obama is not respected by other world leaders. Obama's aides probably shredded the 2014 BBC poll showing that the U.S. is 7th in mainly negative ratings under China, Russia, Israel, Pakistan, North Korea, and Iran at number 1. Maybe Obama is confusing corporate leaders with world leaders. He recently made the Brazilian and German leaders furious when it was revealed that they had been personally spied on.
I have made it clear to the President of the United States that spying on friends is not acceptable at all. I said that when he was in Berlin in July and also yesterday in a telephone call. It's not just about me, but about every German citizen.
Citizens' personal data and information have been indiscriminately targeted and intercepted. Business information, oftentimes of high economic and even strategic value, have been the target of spying activity.
We're able to end 2 wars while still focusing on the very real threat of terrorism and to try to work with our partners on the ground in places like Iraq and Afghanistan.
What do you make of even Bloomberg reporting that basically the U.S. is working with al-Qaeda to take over Iraq? I mean, this is insane, and take over areas of Syria.
No, it was clear. This whole operation was it started with getting rid of Saddam, and then Gaddafi in Libya, and now Assad in Syria, Yemen, now a mess, a civil war. All those governments were secular, and now we run the risk of them being replaced by these Salafist regimes, where, as you say, they not only kill Shias, other Sunni Muslims, Christians, and other minorities, but also destroy antiquities, priceless, irreplaceable World Heritage sites.
Execute women if they get caught not wearing gloves. I mean, give me a break, man. Our government's funding people that sexually mutilate women and make them wear gloves. I mean, I'm done. I'm done with the scum that runs our government.
Was the airdrop of weapons and supplies to ISIS really a mistake? After all, it's always been the ultimate goal of the United States and its allies to put boots on the ground in Syria and to remove al-Assad from power. The mistaken airdrop could be used as an excuse to send in U.S. ground forces. But wait a minute. Why on earth would the U.S. government purposely give ISIS terrorists weapons? I mean, these are the same Muslim extremists who are going around beheading journalists and executing Christians right now. Do you mean to tell me the U.S. government is so corrupt, that they're so evil, that they would actually do something like that? Oh, yes, they would. And the evidence is overwhelming. In fact, the palette of weapons that has supposedly ended up in the wrong hands, what's really insignificant compared to the total ISIS arsenal. Not only does ISIS have in their possession tons of weaponry taken from the retreating Iraqi forces, but the terrorist army now has long-range artillery and thousands of automatic weapons, courtesy of the good old USA. Here's John McCain standing next to a known al-Qaeda leader. But I guess when he's standing next to John McCain, they call him a pro-democracy rebel. Hey, you like that name? That sounds like something George Orwell would have come up with. Marcos, what's his real name?
It says his name is Abdel Hakim Belhaj. He's a known al-Qaeda leader. If you have any questions about whether or not the government's actually doing this, they have been. We send people in to destabilize the region and then turn them into an enemy that gets us in the region to take control.
Flat out, we do not have Census Bureau door-to-door survey fidelity on these groups. I wish we did, but we don't. There are, by one estimate rendered last year, some 1,600 of these opposition groups. So determining their size and capability, and importantly their ideological or political leanings, is very, very, very difficult.
About 400 U.S. troops and potentially hundreds of additional military personnel will deploy to Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar to help train vetted moderate Syrian rebels, train and equip them. This has been the next step in the program.
Moderate rebels are virtually non-existent in Syria and have been for some time.
One of my core principles is that I will never engage in a politics in which I'm trying to divide people or make them less than me because they look different or have a different religion. That's a core principle. That's not something I would violate, right?
Obama criticizes Christians at Easter breakfast prayer. President randomly calls out less than loving expressions by Christians. Yeah, he didn't have time to talk about the hundreds of thousands of Christians killed last year by radical Islamists or how he was funding them. It was just, there's some mean Christians that want to bake some cakes that quote the Bible, and we've all got to just shake in fear and give it a bunch of attention and act like we're all being abused, and maybe have some liberals burn some more fake crosses and swastikas, to get everybody fighting with each other.
On Easter, I do reflect on the fact that as a Christian, I am supposed to love. And I have to say that sometimes when I listen to less than loving expressions by Christians, I get concerned.
That's right. Let's criticize Christianity on Easter, you piece of crap.
But that's a topic for another day.
We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
In the age of political correctness, the comments that this woman has made, her own words, and you're going to suggest her to be on the $20 bill, it was outrageous. But something, the game is this. If they can flood us at one time with so many different issues and problems, we become desensitized to outrage. And that's where the church has lost its power. There is no outrage in the church any longer over these blatant atrocities, these blatant deceptions, these blatant criminal acts.
If President Obama lifted the veil of fantasy between his ears, he would discover to his own horror a presidency paved with lies and fraught with cowardice in the face of his globalist taskmasters. John Bound for Infowars.com.
Did you know that only 6 corporations control 90% of what millions of Americans see, hear, and read every single day? It's the illusion of choice. Think about it. The mainstream media is owned by only a handful of megacorporations with vested interests. But on the other hand, the internet is an interconnected network of billions of sources. So you can research information for yourself from multiple sources, or you can blindly accept what you hear or read in the mainstream media, never questioning what you are being told. This gives you a false sense of reality. I mean, do you actually know what you think you know? Or have you been programmed to accept someone else's version of events? Think about it. This is Darren McBreen, and I want you to break the matrix at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv and listen to The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on your mind.